Hi there, and in this video we're gonna talk about two 5-star characters which, at least from what we know from closed beta 3, seem to not be fully playable on the release of the game. I mean, you can use those characters during the story, but right after that you can't actually summon for those characters, get them as your own characters on your account and use them wherever you want, though some people already consider to actually save for those characters day one, skip every other characters due to this particular character's strength or just personality. We'll discuss it a bit later in this video. Also, there is another argument that, for example, if you're free to play, you can't actually guarantee yourself to get Zilla as the first character to be released as a time-limited character, because of course you have a time limit, and as free-to-play you just simply can't get enough resources to get her from the second guaranteed. I hope you know that the first guaranteed is 50-50, and if you lose it you have to get another rotation, and you simply don't have time and resources to do this. So to some point, of course, it has some sense to actually, especially if you're free to play, since the release of the game, start saving for some particular characters you really want, some strong characters. And the characters we'll be discussing in this video are Kafka and Silverwolf. Let's start from Kafka, since this is one of the most hyped characters, one of the most interesting characters in terms of personality, the first character you actually meet in the game. Though you might be disappointed by her kit, which we'll be discussing right now. She is Nihility Lightning character, and we won't be discussing her basic attack because the basic attack is the same for almost every character. You just deal your element single target damage, which is lightning for Kafka. But about her skill, which actually reveals her whole playstyle, you deal lightning damage to one enemy and also additional damage to adjacent enemies. And if the target of the skill is affected by DOT, you actually trigger that DOT damage for the enemies. So yes, Kafka is a DOT-based damage dealing type units. I know lots of people actually prefer some immediate damage from, for example, Hunt or Destruction characters, but you have to just keep in mind that Kafka is a DOT character. We can't do anything to that. Maybe she'll be reworked on the release of the game or when she'll be released as summonable character, but I don't really believe in that. I think they'll keep everything as we discuss it now. About her ultimate, it's just a solid AoE damage with a chance to apply lightning DOT, which is shock. Also, we have a synergy with our talent, because if we attack with any of the allies a shocked enemy, Kafka will follow up with her attack to that enemy, so it's already a good synergy with her ultimate and technique, and also a good synergy with other lightning Nihility characters. You can apply those debuffs and then Kafka just will follow up with the attacks when you attack with basic skills from other allies. About her technique, she just immediately attacks the enemy. You have to keep that in mind, nothing special with that. Also, you have a chance to actually apply the lightning DOT, which is also shock, so you can do that without using ultimate before the battle. So in general, yes, she is like a DOT character which can be a core DOT character for your team. She also increases your basic attack when the enemy is under shock. She regenerates her energy when the enemy under shock is killed, so you can constantly regenerate the energy, just spam with your ultimate and then kill other enemies and then again regenerate the energy, even though it might not work that effective, especially if you're fighting against AoE, a big amount of enemies with AoEs, then you'll just kill them faster than you regenerate their energy. But anyway, it's good. And the last trace is just increasing the your damage from shock, which is of course good, because this is her main, how we can say, purpose, to actually deal damage with shock. So about this exact character, she's not that much about her strength as unit, even though she's really strong DOT unit. It's just about her personality, how she's written. That's why lots of people actually want to summon for her, which is a bit opposite to Silverwolf, because she is really strong character herself. She is Quantum Nihility character. I don't think that this is already an argument, even though Quantum is really strong, but we anyway at some point will get some more Quantum characters. About her basic attack, this case is special because she has additional effect in her basic attack, so she is not only dealing her element single target damage, she also has a chance to actually apply bug to the enemy, which is explained in our passive. We have 3 bugs which are applied at random. We can reduce the enemy's attack by certain percent, we can reduce the enemy's defense by certain percent, or reduce their speed. All 3 of them is not that bad. Of course, you can't control which debuff you're applying, but anyway, you can apply like occasionally one of those, and also you increase your damage like by certain percent when you are attacking a debuffed enemy, so she can really skyrocket her damage if the enemies have a lot of debuffs. About her skill, she is dealing like a quantum damage to a single enemy with a chance to apply. This is a really strong thing. Like, this skill is really cool because you apply weakness to the type which one of your allies are. So for example, you are fighting with the enemy which has weakness to fire, but you have only wind and quantum units. Then you just apply additional weakness to the enemy which matches your team. For example, a wind weakness, which is really strong because to some point it actually breaks the main mechanic of the game, that you can't get through the whole game with one team because you have to set up your team depending on your enemy's weaknesses. But with Silver Wolf you don't have to care about that. Also, you decrease the damage resistance by 20% to that particular element. Again, you can actually like do everything with one team, not caring about elements at all. Though it will be random, you have to actually like get the proper weakness to the proper element you want. But anyway, it's a really strong ability if they won't change it, because they might change it on the release of the game or with the release of this character as a summonable. But if they will keep the skill, she will be really strong, even though you have to keep in mind that anyway they, for example, can give bosses or in general for the content in the future immunity to this additional weakness. I hope they won't do that. About her ultimate, it's just a good single target ultimate which actually synergizes with our talent, because we can deal lots of single target damage to one enemy if we have lots of debuffs on this enemy. And also we have a DOT of quantum, which is of course additional damage, and also the ability to actually have their actions delayed by 40%. Again, like, it's not that important for this character because she revolves around some different things, but anyway, additionally, as bonus, we also like delay our like one particular enemy's turns, which is also important. About her technique, it's also like a like thing to her skill, because we are ignoring weaknesses and also we reduce the toughness for all the enemies, which is important because the toughness is the main idea of why we want to find like the weakness of elements for our team. Anyway, this unit is really strong. Her traces are strong too, because she has actually an ability to apply bugs when she is attacked, even though you don't want really to be attacked that much. She is not that tanky. About the second one, we have a chance to actually apply 2 bugs, which is really strong because we want to spam with those to actually deal additional damage. And her last like trace is also really strong because we have like 100% guaranteed chance to actually implant the weakness if the enemy has like 3 or more debuffs, and we will have lots of debuffs for the enemies if we use like Silver Wolf and proper teams. So this is really strong, this is really cool unit. Even though she might be changed, she can fit almost in every team. Again, her main problem is that she's Nihility, and Nihility characters in general can be countered if the developers just will give everyone immunity to everything, but hopefully it won't happen. So to sum up, Silver Wolf is a really strong character which you might want to save for because she is just a strong unit. About Kafka, she is strong unit too, but with her niche, she is not that universal and versatile as Silver Wolf. So if you really love her as a character, how she's written, then you might really wait for her, skip the Zilla and just wait for this exact character to be released. Again, the other problem, if you want Zilla too, you can actually like get to the first guaranteed, see what you will get. Maybe you will win 50-50 and then you can anyway try to save up for Silver Wolf or Kafka. Or if you lose 50-50, you just have to understand that you might not get Zilla, and then you have to really wisely select what character you want, because you have a 100% guarantee to get that character. So that's all for now. I really will appreciate if you share your thoughts on these two characters in the comment section. That's all for now. Thanks for your attention and see you soon.